I've just noticed this sentence in Grenz. He says, the placement of the doctrine of the Trinity immediately after the discussion of revelation and prior to the delineation of God's unity and attributes carries an additional theological significance. Now, the thing I immediately noticed about this is that he contrasts the doctrine of the Trinity with a delineation of God's unity. And I think this is a mistake. The doctrine of the Trinity isn't purely a focus on threeness, and surely Grenz will accept that. I think perhaps this is a slip of the pen on Grenz's part, because the doctrine of the Trinity is the doctrine that God is three persons in one substance or one essence. So that surely an emphasis or beginning with the doctrine of the Trinity would also treat the unity of those three persons. Otherwise, you simply have a threeness without any oneness. So it might be the case that in Pannenberg's theology, he addresses the unity after his approach to the Trinity. I don't know. I haven't read Pannenberg, or at least not read him as widely as I ought to or should have. So I've come across that a few times, people opposing the Trinity to oneness. I think perhaps this is a suspicion of those more monadic tendencies of people like Barth. But it seems to me like the oneness and the threeness shouldn't be opposed. Any decent doctrine of the Trinity will make sense of both, no matter where it starts. Like this idea of having the threeness having priority over the oneness, or the oneness having priority over the threeness, seems to me not arbitrary, but clearly a good doctrine of the Trinity will make sense of both the Trinity or the threeness of the Trinity, as well as the oneness, the unity of the Trinity. And you can go about doing that in a number of different ways. You can start with the threeness and then move to the oneness, or oneness and then move to the threeness. But any good doctrine of the Trinity should acknowledge both elements. And I'm not entirely sure how that would affect one's systematic theology overall, but I think if you are to go about sketching a doctrine of the Trinity, it's important not to give too much priority to either approach, but recognise that both are important when formulating the doctrine. So there you go.